Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Wednesday morning, bright and early, daily discipline, mind, body, and soul. I'm in the office, taking care of business. Let's philosophize a little bit on music. I like music. I love music. I've never been able to play an instrument. I got a couple pretty badass guitars, electric guitars, and an amp, and even a little doohickey that my brother got me, a little computer thing that I don't even know how it works, and it's got a booklet like this big I got to read to figure out how to work it. And I guess I can plug those guitars into it and make all kinds of sounds and noises. It's been sitting there for years. I can't figure that shit out. Someone was going to buy me this thing that you put onto the neck of the guitar. It's called the Chord Buddy. I guess you get it from Toys R Us. It's for kids. And it can teach you within like 5 hours how to play any song. And maybe that's an option. But for now, I'm just a listener. I just listen. I'm really good at listening to music. And I love music, and I always have. I used to promote bands. That was a fun thing for me to do for about 10 years or so. Music promotions. We had a promotion company. And there's a couple different types of music that I don't vibe on anymore. And I think that it's because these three different types of music are destructive to masculinity and manhood. Isn't that weird? That I would decide that I can't listen to this music anymore because I feel like it's destroying manhood and masculinity. It's an attack on Western civilization. It's bringing down men. I know that may be a little ideological and maybe a little silly, but I'm highly aware of what I put into my body, my nutrition. And you have your physical nutrition, you know, the stuff you eat that you're physically putting into your body, and it's good to be aware of that stuff. I don't care if you eat ice cream and donuts all the time, but at least understand about sugar and carbs and things like that, so you know how you're ruining yourself. It'll help if you ever need to fix yourself. But let's go through it. These three different types of music, for me, I'm not telling anybody out there what to do. Do whatever you want. But for me, I can no longer put this stuff into me. My mental nutrition doesn't want it. I feel like it's bad for me. It's junk food. Junk food for the mind. So the first one, you see the Johnny Cash poster behind me. I do like some forms of country music. But there's a genre of country music which is quite depressing, where the lyrics, and I really like lyrics, because for me, music isn't just the beat or the guitar. It's poetry. There's a message to it. And I can't take the really sad country, the loser country, where it's some guy singing about being dumped by his girlfriend and how his dog ran away and his truck doesn't work and he got fired from his job. And there's a whole genre of this twangy kind of country that rednecks listen to, and I'm in redneck country. I can't stand that crap. I won't listen to it. It brings me down. I could be having a perfectly good day. You listen to a couple of those songs and you start thinking about how life sucks. So the real sorry country music is out. I'll still jam to some Johnny Cash or some bluegrass. I love some bluegrass. And some of the bluegrass that I like is actually rather religious. And I'm not a big gospel music listener. I'm not a big time Christian. But I do like the gospel, or whatever you call it, the religious bluegrass. Now, the next kind of genre of music that I feel like weakens me, and Jordan Peterson talked about this. Don't think thoughts that make you feel weak. And I've taken it a little bit further. Don't do anything that makes you feel weak. Don't go anywhere that makes you feel weak. Don't hang out with anyone that make you feel weak. Don't think thoughts that make you feel weak. Don't eat food that makes you feel weak. And don't listen to music that makes you feel weak. And another type of music that I feel like that weakens me is death metal. Now, I still listen to some Slayer. I'll still listen to some Sepultura. I may even listen to some old school Celtic Frost. Remember that guy? He's still around, I think. I think he's got a band called Triptykon, but it's spelled weird, so you gotta find it. But they're pretty heavy, kind of like sludge metal, grunge metal. when you get to Cannibal Corpse, Morbid Angel, and the many other like really hardcore death metal bands, I'm not really vibing on that stuff anymore because it kind of makes me angry. The lyrics are all about heavy-duty Satan worship. Like really heavy-duty Satan worship stuff. Not just like Black Sabbath, where it's slightly suggestive. And you're like, ooh, is he talking about the devil? Ooh, it's so naughty. Oh no. Go look at, you don't know anything about Cannibal Corpse? Google Cannibal Corpse, Butchered at Birth. Go look at the images. You can do it now. That's the type of stuff I've been listening to. These are all Florida bands. I know all these guys. Every death metal band that you've ever heard of comes through Florida. I know them all. And I can't even listen to this shit no more. And I was part of that scene for 20 years. It's just too negative. And the lyrics that aren't about heavy-duty Satan worship, which to me is just weakness, are about killing and raping women. I'm not interested in killing or raping women. I'm not a member of Hamas. But that's the type of shit. And the third genre that I just can't vibe with anymore, and it's a little bit remorseful, because I've liked this genre of music for most of my life. I started listening to gangster rap music when it first came out. Who do you think the first gangster rapper was? NWA? Gangster rap came out a little bit before NWA with two different artists. NWA really hit the national scene, and they absolutely promoted it. But the first, I would say, is Schoolie D. And Schoolie D came out with a couple songs that were gangster rap in nature. And the second one was KRS-One, BDP, Boogie Down Productions. My Uzi Weighs a Ton. That kind of stuff. It came out before NWA, and before that, hip-hop was like just party music. And this violence was interjected, and I liked it. My brother carried a 45, I carried a 38. We liked that shit. We felt like that music was for us. And I listened to gangster rap music all the way up until a couple years ago. I was down the street, a couple blocks away, when Biggie got shot. When Tupac got shot, I knew guys involved in it. They bragged about it the next day. You fucks are sitting there talking about Tupac's alive. Tupac was killed by the government. No, he wasn't. He was killed by the Crips, and they bragged about it the next day. Idiots. I can't listen to that shit no more. And I'm from the hood. All the stuff they talk about in those songs, I've done that on those blocks. I've been in the Bronx, in Harlem, South Central, Compton, Watts. I've gangbanged in these areas. I can't vibe in any of that shit no more. I listen to it and I just think of it's pure weakness. Now, could you possibly start thinking about your nutrition? And I don't suggest that you do what I'm doing, because we're all individuals, and my nutritional needs may be different than your nutritional needs, and you can go to a doctor and find that out. You may need a different diet than me. But this is part of my diet. Some of the things that the food items that I'm watching out for with my mental nutrition. Some of this music brings me down. I also do this with movies. There's certain types of movies that I just don't watch because they bring me down. I'm not interested in that because I know that's going to have a negative effect on me, and this is a waste of 3 hours. So think about your nutrition. What is it that you're putting into yourself that's making you weak? Is your lack of confidence, your anxiety, your depression, your guilt, your shame, your anger? Are you doing this to yourself daily? Food for thought.